Good afternoon, guys. My name is Denise Ramirez. My major is exercise science, and my research essay question will be about, are they lying to me? How to tell if someone is lying to you depending on their body movements. So, my topic will be based on facial expressions, how we can control them. Can we use this to know if if other people are honest with us? Facial expressions seem to be the tricky one. I mean, that is why I wanted to know if there's a way to know for certain if someone is being honest or not, due to the fact that most of the time we can control movements, muscles, and nerves, which end up sending mixed signals to others. And my basic question will be, is there a way that we can control them? And if we do, if there is a way, will we always be doing that or not? So basically, our facial expressions, we are constantly communicating whether we like it or not. I mean, we can say something but mean something else, or your facial expressions, your body movements are being honest, but to other people you're lying. So that's the type of questions that I want to answer. Now, how would you know if somebody's lying to you? Well, there are some signs. Your raised eyebrows often signal discomfort, but other people may take it as it's not discomfort, you're just being curious of what's going on. Their voice, does it go up or down? It's mostly they're interested, or if it goes down, let's say oh, okay, and mostly they're losing interest at what you're saying. The eye contact shows interest, both positive and negative, depending on how you do the eye contact. There's certain people that would always be looking you straight at you while you're talking to them. To some people, it might be discomfort. To others, it won't. If you're looking away, if you're talking to them and then you're looking away to somewhere else, they may be thinking that you're distracted and not paying attention to them. So that also matters. Number 4 will be, but if you look into their eyes for too long, they might think that you're lying. So that one I had to know. I mean, I would think that because you're looking at them, you're interested in what they're saying, but I didn't know that it could mean that you're lying to them. Number 5, crossed legs are usually a sign of resistance and low receptivity. 6, if they mirror your body language, the conversation is probably going well. Number 7 would be, look for a lack of crinkles around the eyes to detect a fake smile. I mean, they might be smiling to you, but their eyes may mean that they're not really actually, their smile is not being real to you, it's being fake. If they're laughing with you, they're probably into you. And 9, expansive, authoritative postures show leadership. If they're standing straight, if they're actually paying attention to what you're saying, they're interested to exactly what you're saying, and they're with you. They're paying attention to you and everything that you are saying. Number 10, a shaking leg signals a shaking inner state, meaning that if they're shaking their legs, body, hands, shoulders, I mean that they just feel irritated by now, or they lost interest in what you're saying. Okay, so besides facial expressions and body movements, we also have micro expressions. What is a micro expression? Well, it is a very brief facial expression, 1 to 2 seconds or less, shown on the face of humans when one is trying to conceal an emotion. And there are 7 universal micro expressions. So I mean, you might think that let's say you're lying to somebody, but you're trying to be honest, to feel like you're being honest or truthful. But maybe your facial expressions are gonna deceive you from actually trying to do what you're trying to do, because you can control every single nerve of your body. So what are the 7 universal micro expressions? Will be disgust, anger, fear, sadness, happiness, surprise, and contempt. As of right now, those are the only 7 universal that psychologists and that they think, or they're the main ones. Now, non-verbal signs of lying are numerous. There's a bunch, so you can really narrow it down to 1 or 5 specific ones. Can be They can be identified, studied, so one can have an effective means to deal with deceptive acts. Nonverbal signs, a form of communication through various facial expressions and bodily face, body movements, etc. So as I told you, there's so many that we won't know exactly for sure which ones they are. Now I have a picture here. It's a face that you can trust. It gives you two comparisons of two different people. They show you how their eyebrows are lined in each one. So here for it, because they're down, it means apparently it's untrustworthy. And her eyebrows are up, so it means higher inner brows. It means that she's trustworthy. Shallow identification between here. I'm guessing when you make your facial expressions, when you put down your eyebrows, you make like a little bump in here. So depending on how it goes down, that means that you're untrustworthy. But if it goes up because your eyebrows are going up, that means you're trustworthy. Your shallow cheekbones, apparently it also means, because he has shallow cheekbones, but she has pronounced cheekbones. The thin chin, it also means that he's being trustworthy, while the white chin, it means that she's trustworthy. Here I have an article by Joe Navarro and John R. Schaffer. It's called Detecting Deception. Basically, their article, it's about how FBI do their work in order for them to know who is telling the truth and who is not. I mean, they work with criminals, with people that want to get away with what they did. Let's say something for house rent, or oh, it's my child, no, it's not my child, no, I didn't do that to them, or something, just trying to get away with what they did. They talk about how in court people try to deceive lawyers, cops, the judge, everybody else. I mean, they have a program, a system, how to tell if somebody's lying or not. But to get to actually use that, they need to be concerned and they need to be well trained to see who is lying and who is not. I mean, they're not going to be 100% sure who is and who isn't. I mean, we're all humans. Sometimes they make mistakes. And basically what he's telling is you have everything from the fundamentals to the interview setting, how the interview setting affects the people that they're interviewing. They go to the eyes, how if you're looking away from the other people, if you're staring for them too long, if your eyes are closed, if your eyes are big, wide open, your eyebrows, that all comes to if you're lying or not. We have the head and body movements, how you have your head, if you have it curved to the side, you have it straight, if you have it backwards, you have it more to the front. We also have how you're breathing. If you're breathing too hard, means that maybe you are lying. If you're breathing like normally, but if you're breathing too slow, also. Your mouth, apparently, how you move it. When you're talking, you're doing your vowels, if they're coming out too big, or if you're not saying them how you normally would say a certain word, that also counts as lying. We have the hands and the arms. If you're confident, you're gonna have your arms in a certain way that you're gonna sit up straight. Your hands are gonna be on the desk. They're not gonna be shaking or moving all the time. There's also verbal cues, certain words that you won't normally use in a conversation. But let's say you're trying to get away what you did, so you're gonna use those certain words. And apparently, people that are lying use them a lot. And they're common words that you would think for a normal person, you would think, well, I mean, it's just a normal word. How is that word gonna be considered for you to be lying? But according to them, people that lie often, they use those words a lot. So that's the article. My fieldwork, I did surveys. I asked people 7 questions, which was, how do you know when people are lying to you? Number 2, what things do you look for when you think they are lying to you? 3, can you tell when someone is lying to you or not? Number 4, have you lied to someone before? 5, if yes, to who? 6, what techniques do you use when you lie? And 7, do you think facial expressions or body language play an important role when it comes to lying? Most of the people, their answers were the same in certain questions. For this one, how do you know when people are lying to you? They basically tell the same thing. They're always looking at their eyes, if they're moving a lot, if they're focusing on them. Apparently it's a really big sign that they're lying to you. Number 2, what things do you look for when you think they're lying to you? They said that if they're looking down or away from me, then that's a big sign. Again, body movements, examples they put in, it's hand over the eyebrows, tapping of feet while standing or sitting down, biting their lip. If they seem uncomfortable, fidgeting again, eye contact. If the story seems too long, apparently that's also a tell of lying. They look for their expressions, not just their face, but possible hand gestures, use over and over of shoulder shrugs when asked a direct question. Number 3, can you tell if someone is lying to you or not? They answer that they can't really tell if they're lying to you, unless that's to them that came to like a personal question. It would be like, it depends if you trust a person. If you talk to them that often, then you would know, oh, okay, maybe he or she is lying. And depending on what they hear from other people, they usually ask, hey, did you hear what he or she said to me? Like, was it kind of true? Was it not? Then depending on what they get as the answer, then they come with assumption if they are lying or not. Number 4, it was, I guess, my best question ever. I asked them, have they lied to someone before? And well, of course, to every person that I asked, they said yes, that they have lied to somebody. I mean, in your life, I'm guessing you actually have lied about something. And yes, they said yes. And then I asked them, if yes, to who? Usually the girls said to their boyfriends, parents. The guys usually said, it was kind of weird, but they said to their boss. I'm guessing if you work, they said to their boss. Customers at work, I mean, for who doesn't? I mean, if you work at somewhere that you need to always, if they ask you questions, sometimes you don't have the answer. They usually tell you, okay, well, if you get someone, just tell them, oh, okay, yeah, we'll look into it. But then you never do. It kind of counts as lying. Parents, teachers, and then one person said too many people to count. 6, what techniques do you use when you lie? So that was personal for them. What techniques did they use to lie? Usually they said that they hold their hands or their fingers, or if they have a belt, put on their buckle, so when they talk to them, they're just like, yeah, you know. So apparently for them, that's what they do to lie. One person said that they try to think really quick and smart things to say when asked a question that they don't know, or trying just to make their story more believable. One said, depending on their subject at hand, I keep a straight face without faltering in eye contact. Also, in certain circumstances, I demonstrate a certain level of understanding what the other is required to be done or heard. The 4th person said, I keep it simple. It's usually if someone asks something that I don't want to tell them, and I'll say, I don't know, or if I have time to explain, I tell the story as short and simple as possible. The 5th person, Try not to run my mouth when the light is already accepted before I get caught and make things worse. The sixth person, I use details and say what they want to hear. I also perceive myself as a bad liar most of the time. That way, if I need to lie, it's more believable. And then 7, do you think facial expressions or body language play an important role when it comes to lying? All of them said yes, that it does. Again, it comes down to what they said, what they use, what they do when they lie. And facial expressions do come in a certain way for you to lie. I mean, you again, with the eyes, you're looking away or you're looking for them apparently too long, it's also a sign of lying. Your mouth, your face, your hands, your arms, your legs, if they're shaking, if they're not, if you're too in a direct position, everything. So it all comes to the lying. Okay, and that will be it. That's my presentation. Thank you.